We are going to get a bit serious today because I have had my heart broken. Not now, like not just now, about a month ago. Literally the day after I filmed my video where I played piano. That was a Wednesday. I filmed that vlog, and then the very next day, the person I was dating broke up with me. So this is why I disappeared for a month and I haven't been posting anything here. I've still been active on my business channel, posting videos about sexual education, but that's work. Like I had to pull myself together and show up for that, for my work. But you know, here, this is on this channel, this is me, this is authentic, this is my real authentic self, my feelings, what I'm going through. This is my vulnerability that I'm showing you here. So I just didn't have it in me to come up here and to film anything personal over the last month because I've been really struggling with the heartbreak. What I can promise you is that I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry in this video. I do feel all cried out at this stage. As I mentioned, it has been a month after a connection that lasted for 3 months. So I met this gentleman in early November last year, and we dated throughout November, December, January, and then in early February everything fell apart. I did not see it coming. The breakup was a complete shock to me. It felt like my heart was shattered into a million little pieces with no warning, with no sort of lead up that would prepare me for it. I thought we were having an amazing connection. I thought everything was growing and going in the right direction. I was going to spend the rest of my life with him. And that's just not obviously where he was at. So yeah, so he ended things with us. But because this ain't my first rodeo, this isn't the first heartbreak that I'm forced to heal from and come back from, I figured I would share some things, 5 things more specifically, that I've been finding extremely helpful and that I feel like anybody in the situation could benefit from, because it is a dark place, you know, to find yourself having been broken up with by someone you really care about. It sucks. It just takes you to a very dark place. So if you are going through a heartbreak right now, I hope that these words help you and that these things that I've been finding extremely helpful, that they help you as well in healing and getting through this extremely difficult time. So let's get to it. Number 1, you have to feel the pain. And as I mentioned, I know it's hard, I know it sucks. First of all, it will pass. Like, this will not last forever, even though it might feel right now like this is not ever gonna end. Like, if you allow yourself to cry, you will just never finish crying. You will. Like, you seriously will. Like 100%, I can tell you, you will finish the crying. You will finish feeling the grief, but you have to feel it. You have to allow yourself to immerse yourself in it so that it can run its full cycle. Emotions are there for a reason, and they are a very natural and normal reaction that we experience to things and events and other people, etc. And we just have to complete the cycle of feeling. People can literally get stuck in grief for years if they don't allow themselves to do the grieving and to do the feeling. You don't have to do it all the time, 24/7, you know, every single day. Obviously, that would be exhausting. If I find myself too tired of grieving, I will do something to make myself feel better, to distract myself. I will put on a comedy, you know, or take myself out for a coffee or catch up with a friend, or do whatever feels good to me, even have a glass of wine if that helps. But if you just keep doing these things and numbing your pain with food, alcohol, drugs, shopping, sex, online dating even, etc., like, don't. It will only slow down the process and keep you stuck in a loop of emotion that needs to finish and be complete in terms of you feeling it. Sit in it, allow yourself to feel it, allow yourself to be in the emotion, to immerse yourself in it, even, even if it means sobbing and wailing and screaming and crying and doing whatever you need to do to feel that pain, that disappointment, that grief, that anger and frustration. You have to feel it. Number 2, remember that time heals. A bit of a cliche that people repeat, especially to whoever is grieving and feeling the sadness, but it is true. Like, I'm feeling such a difference now after a month of allowing myself to cry and grieve and be in my emotions. I know I am healing. I am getting better. And that's extremely helpful to realize and to remember. It can feel so unbearable in the beginning, particularly when you feel like you had the most amazing person in the world and there's nobody else like them. Like, I resonate. This is exactly how I felt. And I found it unbearable to see my life without him. It does go away. Like, I'm already not feeling those things. I guess at this stage, I feel like I am not so much grieving him and losing him. I am still grieving what we had, because I really felt like I found it, like I had it. It was there in my life, finally, the love, the connection, the intimacy, the relationship that would last forever. But I no longer feel grief about losing him in particular. I'm back to remembering that there are so many beautiful people out there and that I am compatible with many of them and that I can build and create a very magical and amazing relationship with somebody else. Oh my God, it's hot. Okay, number 3, lean on your friends and family. There are these important people in your life. You can lean on them and it's gonna be so incredibly helpful to you. My friends and family have been amazing in this process. Being able to call them, talk to them, meet up with them, have that kind of alive social network and circle active around me that I could reach out to and physically meet up with, instead of just sitting home and crying all the time. It's been extremely helpful to me and my mental health and my process of grieving. To have somebody hold you in your tears, in your grief, and even offer their outsider's perspective or their support or, some really helpful words based in the fact that they know you so well and that they know what to say in order to make you feel better. That's extremely valuable, and you have to allow yourself the luxury of reaching out to them. And I know, because I felt that as well, like the sense when you're grieving and when you're sad is that I don't want to be seen by anybody. Like, very often, that's what I often feel. I just want to be at home. I just want to get through this. I don't want anybody to see me like this. I don't want to talk to anybody like this, because I will just start crying and then I might never finish crying. No, don't do that to yourself. I definitely didn't. And it's been extremely helpful to me and soothing to this entire process. Number 4, take care of yourself. I would always recommend that you exercise and eat well and sleep, enough, etc., and do all those things that really support your health and well-being, mental, emotional, physical, etc. This is a particularly important time to do that. Really take care of yourself now. Don't slack off with your daily routines, with your exercise, with your good diet, with taking care of yourself. This is really gonna help you in your healing process. It's been incredibly valuable to me to still get up every morning, go to the gym, come back home, shower, meditate, have a good, healthy breakfast when I start work, to keep up these routines, to make sure that I eat well and sleep well. That those two have been a challenge, especially in the beginning, but I kind of started to make myself eat well and exercise and sleep better, etc. Actually, funny story. A few days after the breakup, I had an appointment with my acupuncturist. So I was lying on the table, he was putting needles in me, and at some point he asked, asked how I was sleeping. And I said, well, not terribly well. And I didn't want to tell him why, because, it was just very raw and fresh. And this is somebody I don't know very well. Just that, I guess, awareness of in me why I wasn't sleeping well made me just sob, like right there on that acupuncture table with needles being put in me, in my body. It felt extremely vulnerable and hard to be witnessed by a stranger, but fortunately it's just he is such a kind, beautiful person, and he really supported me, even though he didn't know what was happening to me and why. Just that little question, are you sleeping well, brought this wave of emotions and grief, and caused me to cry uncontrollably, even though I really didn't want to, but it helped. I do have one more tip, which I need to move a little bit more into the shade because it is very sunny and very hot today. So I have one more tip. It is absolutely optional, but I do consider it a bit of an advanced strategy and technique when it comes to this very important and hard time of dealing with the heartbreak. And that is taking accountability of the situation. Like, how did you contribute to this thing happening to you? Because it's so easy to feel in that situation like a victim. This happened to me, and this is exactly how I felt. I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I loved him so much, and I did all I could to be the best partner I could be. And this happened to me. He broke up with me, and I haven't done anything wrong. Like, that was the feeling until I realized that I actually want to take responsibility for this. Like, everything that happens to you, you are creating and co-creating. So I co-created the situation with him, and I needed to look at my part, and the role that I played in this heartbreak. Why did I, or how did I choose a man who couldn't love me the way I wanted to be loved? Like, how did that happen? How did I end up here with someone that couldn't be the kind of partner that I wanted to be with? Can you find the way in which you contributed and you co-created that? And what comes to me in this, in this moment when I ask myself this question in the situation, is that I wasn't vigilant enough in spotting the signs that would tell me that he wasn't someone who was ready or prepared to have the kind of long-term, lifelong relationship that I wanted to have. And so next time I meet someone, what I really want to look out for is, any way in which he is telling me with his actions, with his behavior, with his whatever he's expressing to me, is he actually ready to be with me? Is he gonna be there for me? Especially when things get tough. Like, is this someone I can rely on? Is this someone I can lean on? Is this someone who's gonna stay with me, even if things aren't always amazing and perfect?
River's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're gone, gone.